what the fuck's up with Capone's kid having a 5 o'clock after shadow already and seemingly smoking a cigar? I don't know if that was a cigar pacifier or what the fuck was up with that? This chapter of One Piece, for the most part, a good chapter. It was definitely focusing on a lot of subtle events and stuff like that. I think one of the things that kind of caught me off guard was seeing Pekkoms once again. Like, yo, Pekkoms has been done dirty this arc. Like, now on top of all that, he gets fucking shot the fuck up and thrown into the fucking water. Like, poor fucking Pekkoms. And we get to find out a little bit more about Capone. I mean, I don't know what's his ultimate goal. I think he honestly thinks he's smart enough that he can outdo everybody, and that's why I think he's slowly trying to maneuver into Big Mom's world. Like, he married seemingly one of her daughters and had a kid with her, so he's slowly trying to maneuver up in the world by being a little snake. But what he did to Pekkoms, because I think Pekkoms had a decent relationship with Big Mom, so if she finds out about how he did Pekkoms dirty and shit like that, I don't think she's gonna take too kindly to that. But I also don't think that Pekkoms is out of it completely. Like, first of all, him falling into the water, he did eat that devil fruit because he was already a mink, but then he also ate that devil fruit, if I'm correct. That gave him like the turtle shell, so I think he's gonna be alright in the water, and depending on where he got shot, maybe it won't be fatal. So I don't think Pekkoms is dead and out the game completely just yet. Another thing in this chapter that was kind of hinted at a little bit more was Pedro's past, and kind of like now even finding out that him and Tamago had some history as well. So there's a lot of things about Pedro that I'm kind of curious about, and you never thought, hey, this random fucking mink, like, what the fuck is he gonna have relevance? But like, he definitely has a strong connection to a lot of different things. I mean, in the past he said that he did try at one point to be a pirate and shit like that, and he got fucked over trying to do things. So I'm imagining that maybe Tamago and him was close at one given point. Maybe they had some friendship, because Tamago said something along the lines of like, I was gonna beg for, you know, Mama's forgiveness for him and this and that. So maybe they were kind of tight at some given point, and it definitely made sense finally. Like, I mean, it's been what, about 3 or 4 years since we were on Punk Hazard and we saw the giant fucking babies and shit like that were on drugs, and it's like, what the fuck's going on? We got these giant babies on drugs, and now it makes sense because it was Caesar's experiments that he was trying to get to Big Mom. He was trying to do these things so that he can ultimately accomplish Big Mom's goal, which inevitably he knew that he couldn't, so Caesar was just like doing it up. And you get a little bit more of him in this chapter where it's kind of like, I'm starting to like Caesar Clown. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, when you find out in this chapter that basically he was taking Big Mom's money and going and fucking bitches and drinking and shit like that, yo, Caesar, I fucks with you, bro. I fucks with you heavy right now. It's like, at first you thought, okay, he's just this maniacal scientist, all he cares about is blah blah blah, but once you start like with chapters like this again, you find out more about him. It's like, oh, so he knew from the get-go for a long time now that he wasn't going to be able to do what Big Mom wanted, but he kept on taking more money. He's like, yo, send me more money, I'm getting close. And I mean, he was in a way trying, he did try his best. It's just that he knew there was no stable way to do things. Like, he had all those giant babies or whatever, but they either could get sick or they wouldn't, you know, they wouldn't last and shit like that. So there was definitely no way that he could, you know, sustain that little drug that he had going to make people gigantify, which is Big Mom's dream. She wants her whole family to be at eye level while they eat. And after this chapter, the setup is that Caesar Clown is fucked. And if you notice in this chapter, in the past couple of chapters, a lot of people's fate are fucked. You got Sanji with the cuffs that if he tries to leave, he gets fucked. Now Caesar has 2 weeks based on the agreement with Big Mom. If he doesn't replicate the serum to gigantify people in 2 weeks, he's getting fucked. It's like, everyone's just fucked. Not to mention Pekkoms just got shot the fuck up and thrown in the water. And I'm curious what the fuck's going on with the whole Jinbei situation. Like, maybe why it's being put out there in the paper that Jinbei was like backing up and he was like, oh no, you know, I'm backtracking, hey, don't do anything to me, is because maybe he got off so light with like, I don't know, hey, here's a toenail or something like that, that in order for Big Mom to justify shit, she put out in the paper that he was like being a pussy or something like that. That's the only thing I can think, because Jinbei was a soldier. Jinbei is a soldier. He's not gonna go out like no bitch. So I'm guessing that there's something more to why that story is being put out there, that Jinbei was basically backtracking after Mama was like, yo, give me something. If you're trying to leave, you're gonna give me something. Although it would be kind of dark and kind of like cringy if Jinbei actually did have a huge change of heart and was scared as fuck and just said, no mama, please. Like, that'd be crazy. The end of the chapter, honestly, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, like, I really don't care about that island shit that Luffy and them are going through. It honestly feels like filler, and seeing it at the end of this chapter, I really hope within the next chapter or two that part is done. It just honestly feels like filler. The Luffy with the clones and all that shit feels like filler, and I really hope we get done with it soon, because it just doesn't feel like it adds anything to this whole fucking story arc other than just like to stall time for Luffy to not get there. It reminds me in a way of, except that they're trying to do it seriously, in the One Punch Man manga, like they'll have Saitama doing the most stupidest shit just so that he doesn't get to the main threat and fuck him up or whatever, and that's what I feel like they're doing with Luffy and them. It's like, hey, Luffy, you know, the closer he gets to fighting Big Mom and shit like that, the closer the end of this arc comes. So it's like, oh yeah, let's put Luffy on some shitty island and let's stall him for, you know, a dragging on of this arc. But aside from that ending, honestly, decent chapter, good chapter for the most part. I want to say 6.5 to a 7 for this chapter. Stuff with Pekkoms, kind of hinting a little more at Pedro's backstory, getting a little bit more of Big Mom's ambitions, and finding out a little bit more about Caesar Clown, making him a little bit more likable, and hearing more about Jinbei, even though it doesn't feel like it's legit truth of what happened that day. But let me know what you guys think. First of all, what do you think happened with Jinbei? What do you think is the past that Pedro has, that he even has a past with Tamago from Big Mom's crew? What do you think about Caesar? How the fuck is he gonna get out of this? He got 2 weeks to come up with some serum to help Big Mom with her goal. And what do you think about Luffy and the crew still being stuck on that island? But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk me on Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.